So good morning everyone and welcome back to the class on smart materials and structures. Okay, so since your 2018 scheme is like the latest scheme in which we are not finding the question papers, even the model question papers related to. So I thought let me brush out related to the 2017 model only. Okay, so anyhow the syllabus was the same. The pattern also will be almost the same. So at least you'll get an idea like how the question paper pattern could be. So as per your module, you can see that here they are providing like three subsections. You might get usually only two sections, 1A and 1B. In rare cases, you can get 1C as well. But 1C will not be there in all the questions. Very rarely you get that. Okay, but if it gets also, it will be within the marks which has been assigned. For them, it was like total marks of 100, right? For you, it is like 60-40 scheme. So wherein if you write the examination for 100 marks also, it will be reduced to 60 or else it will be directly to 60 marks only, right? So with that aspect, the modules and the syllabus were same. So I thought let me brush out. Suppose if they ask you like the first module in ours, what does it refer to? Basically the smart structures, right? So here also they are just asking like define smart materials and smart structures. Okay, so discuss the type of smart structures which are available. Like, so what you have to tell basically here, if you get this question like this, you have to define what exactly the smart material is and what exactly the smart structures are. So if you define with a simple example, so that will be very much better because it is not in the UG level. It should be at the level of application and analysis when you come for masters. So always try to focus on real time with some good examples so that it helps you to fetch you the marks. So you have to tell what is smart materials, you know already. So with a small example, n number of smart materials are there. So you define exactly. So it is a material which responds to the external stimuli and it helps in changing its physical properties, right? With respect to the stimuli which has been input. So basic theoretical approach, you go and define exactly. So using this smart materials, if you develop some structure that is termed to be as our smart structure. And we have a block diagram for the smart structure also, which speaks about the actuators, sensors, a controlling unit, how the work is correlated. So you have to define. So after defining, you should discuss like which are the varieties of smart materials which are available, list down, give one example for each type of smart materials and also list down the type of smart structures which are available. So that will fetch you the mark. And next they have asked again for 8 marks here. Discuss potential feasibility and key elements of smart structure. So what is the potential feasibility of the smart structures? To listen smart structures, it is very much interesting. But when you come in actual in development of the smart structures, what is its potentiality? How much it is feasible, or it is only good enough to see at a very far stretch as an example or a device, or when you implement that in actual, suppose you create your room as a smart room, how potential your smart room is, how much feasible your smart room is, whether you are getting any interaction in between continuously, whether it is essential for you to go for maintenance much regularly, or you're finding difficulty to use in a continuous run. Okay, so that is about the potentiality aspects. And what are the main key elements associated with the smart structure? So that you have to describe. And here you have a one more section which speaks about the depoling and coercive field. So where does depoling and coercive field comes exactly? Can anyone tell me in which class of in which class of smart material? Hello, are you people there? Hello, Srinidhi. Sandesh, I think no one is there. You people have logged in and went away somewhere. Is it so?
No, ma'am.
Then why you people are not responding? You tell me now in which depolling and coercive field usually comes into picture. That shows how well you have prepared. It's very long back we have studied this in our piezoelectric material, in our hysteresis loop, where the coercive field you subject to get the spin polarization, remnant polarization, coercive field is subject to the electrical field. All those things you should remember. And piezo material act only if polling is been done. So what are the effects you have to take care of for depolling of the polarization is being asked. Okay, and similarly about the creep and strain rate effects. So when you apply a load on the device, how the strain rate effect is fluctuating, right? If the subjected load is very high, and if deformation comes into picture, if creep penetrates, what about its effects into the piezo material? So that you have to write down. So you have to understand the question exactly and then answer. So this was about our first module, right? And again, the second module is also related to our piezo material only. So here they have asked you to explain the phenomena of piezoelectric effect. So we have two phenomena, direct and indirect effect, right? So you have to discuss that with the diagram. You have to write a small sample subjected to the load. So when the load has been subjected, the strain is induced. So the inducement of the strain in the polarized sample will result in the form of voltage. So you can collect and you can show an voltage meter and show how the voltage is enhancing. So this is for direct. Similarly, for indirect effect, also you need to explain and discuss on its application it is being used. So once you speak about the direct effect and indirect piezo effect, for both the direct effect, what is the applications, and for indirect effect, what is the applications you have to speak about. So this is totally for 10 marks. So 5 marks will be for direct and indirect effect, and again 5 more marks for the application. In that 2.5 marks will be for for direct piezo effect application, and 2.5 marks more will be for indirect piezo effect. So direct piezo effect works for our sensors, and indirect piezo effect works for our actuators. So these are the way what you have to understand and explain. And next question 2B is related to the working of an inch-worm linear motor. So we have demonstrated with a beautiful sketch how does an inch-worm linear motor works. So you have to draw the sketch, explain the working principle, and inform if any drawbacks associated with it, what are its plus points. So provide each and every information what you know about the working phenomena of inch-worm linear motor. So this is again for 10 marks. And then it comes for our module 2, wherein it's related to our shape memory alloys. So in this, they have asked to write a neat sketch. With a neat sketch, they have asked you to discuss the phase transformation in shape memory alloy. So when you subject to the heat, the shape memory alloy changes its phase from martensite to austenite, and again while cooling it comes back from austenite to martensite phase. So that loop, similar to hysteresis loop, we have a loop in order to show the change of phase in case of a shape memory alloy. So you have to explain when it is at cooled temperature and when the temperature increases, how the phase changes, and while cooling, how it comes back to the original phase. So you have to explain step by step, like around there are 5 to 6 steps what you have to explain. So you have to explain like that. So the other part of it is related to our nitinol wire, which is the most commonly used SMA wire, right? So here they have asked you to discuss how vibration control could be done by using the NITI-NOL, nitinol wire is nothing but the shape memory class of wire, so which has been excited in a cantilever beam. So you have to explain this vibration control aspect for the given cantilever beam with an nitinol wire when it is suspended at free hand. and when you have a forcing element at the root of the beam. So in first one, you won't be having any forcing element at the root of the beam. Whereas in the second case, you have a forcing element at the root of the beam. So you have to draw the cantilever, you have to show where the nitinol wire is connected, so how the vibration is being controlled. So this cases, case 1, case 2, case 3, we have studied in our syllabus. So here 2 cases are being asked. So out of 3 cases what you have studied, you have to explain 2 cases with a diagram. So that is again given for 10 marks. And then it is coming to our vibration absorbers chapter, right? So here they have asked you to discuss the fluid composition and behavior of ER and MR fluids. So you know electrorheological fluid, magnetorheological fluid, what are its applications? How does it behave with respect to the composition of the fluid, right? So with respect to the fluid composition, you have to explain the behavior of ER fluids separately. For that you have 5 marks. And again you have to discuss about the fluid composition of MR fluid separately. For that you have 5 marks. So you can just show the flow of the fluid in a given container with the direction with what velocity it is moving and how the variation in the composition can show the effects in ER and MR fluid. Because you know that with respect to the change in temperature and external stimuli, the viscous of ER and MR fluid will change. In case of ER, it is like with respect to the electrical field, the viscousness will change. In case of MR fluid, with respect to the magnetic field, the viscousness will change. So how this viscousness of the fluid changes with respect to the fluid composition. So some fluid might be having a very minimum composition, stoichiometric composition. Some might be a very dense fluid, which has high viscousness in it. So how the behavior of these ER and MR fluid comes into picture with respect to the fluid composition. So that we have to discuss. Okay, so this is about our ER and MR fluid, and mainly the concepts what you will be explaining here is then related to the applications of clutches and dampers. So we have studied separately the application of ER and MR fluid for clutches and the application of ER and MR fluid for dampers in our class, right? So you have to explain separately for clutch, that will be for 5 marks, and separately for dampers, so that will be for 5 marks. So this is how the marks will be figured out. And one thing you remember, even though they haven't informed anything related to the diagrams, wherever it is essential, kindly draw a neat sketch, label it properly, and write it in a good readable handwriting. Okay, or else you will lose marks. Even though the content is there, if you just scribble and write, so the reader, the evaluator will not be able to read properly. So then you may lose marks. So be careful with respect to that. Hope the question paper pattern, are you people understanding how it will be, how we have to prepare for the examinations? Yes or no? Be active, kindly respond.
Yes, ma'am.
So, yeah, this was about our ER-MR fluids with related to clutches and dampers. Then the next one was the fiber optic principles. So in the same vibration absorber, we had a part related to optical fibers, right? So with respect to that, again, we can see one more question. So here exactly you need to explain the principle behind the fiber optic. Okay, so when you explain the principle behind the fiber optic technique, so you have to relate how you use this principle for measuring the strain. So to measure the strain, you should be having some devices, right? So those devices we have studied already. Micro bent and graded index fibers we have studied. Fabry-Perot sensors we have studied. So in these 2 devices, how we are measuring the strain? So we are measuring the strain by using these 2 devices with the principle of fiber optics. So how you are using that you have to explain. So this is for 10 marks. In that sense, the micro bent and graded index fiber will be for 5 marks, and this Fabry-Perot sensor will be for 5 marks. So you have to draw a neat sketch, label it, and you should explain how you are using this instrument measure the strain by the principle of optical fiber. And you have a sub question 5b here. So it speaks about the fiber optics in crack detection. So we have studied this, how this fiber optics will help in detection of the crack without the intervention of human being, and have dealt with a case study also for each and every module. So you should be in a position to answer well with respect to the example. Okay, so you kindly explain how this fiber optics could be used for detection of the crack, even though there is no intervention of human being. So this fiber optics will help to identify the crack detection, even when you have the wings of an aeroplane which has been flying at the sky. So through fiber optics, you'll be having the connectivity, and across the wings, you will be having the self-healing capsules. So once the crack has been detected, it will be sensed, and the self-healing material will open, and the healing agent will pass through that crack, and it will penetrate and seal the crack also. So that is in reality. But take any example and explain it. So that is for 5 marks here. And similarly, active vibration absorber. One of your friends also presented a paper on active vibration absorbers, right? So similarly, you will explain with a real-time application. If you do, that will be really well. So these fourth and fifth question is totally from vibration absorber. Okay, so in every, as per your 2018 scheme, you have two parts wherein you'll be having one question. You'll be having two full questions, right? So in that way, there's two questions from one module what you get. So this is I have the syllabus with you. Yeah, I'll just read out. You will be getting from each module, right? So students have to answer 5 full questions, choosing one full question from each module. So the pattern will be like here they didn't have choice. So now you can understand what will be the difference. So here it is 1, 2. This 2 is from same module. Okay, so they didn't had an option like either you have to answer 1 or 2. They similarly they had third and fourth question from module 4. Okay, so this was module 4, this was module 2. And similarly, this is module 3. Okay, so they don't have choices. Totally, they'll be having 8 set of questions. In that, they have to answer only 5 questions. But for you people, from every module, there'll be like 2 questions. So out of these 2 questions, you have to answer 1 compulsory. Similarly, you'll be having 10 questions, 2 questions from each module. So you should answer 5 full questions. So that is the pattern what you will be getting for your scheme. That is the only difference related to the scheme of change from 2017 to 18. So you'll be having 10 full questions in which you have to answer 5. So after that, yes, so we are now supposed to come into our MEMS chapter, module 4. So in module 4 also you can see you have 2 questions. But previously student had very good option of answering 5 of any 8. But now you will be having restriction. Within 1 or 2 you should answer 1. Within 3 and 4 you should answer 1. Within 5 and 6 you should answer 1. And within 7 and 8 you should answer 1. Okay, so in that way. Here they have only 8 questions. In your case, you will be having 10 questions, out of which you should answer 5. So 6 questions speaks about what is MEMS exactly and explain its application. Draw the schematic representation of MEMS diagram where you have like micro actuators, micro sensors, right, and then controller and microelectronics. So combination of all these will provide us the MEMS. So you should define exactly what you mean by MEMS with a neat sketch, and then you will explain its applications. So MEMS has this application in all diverse area of engineering streams. So you can explain. So you'll be having roughly like 4 or 5 marks for MEMS. If it is 4 marks for MEMS, explanation part will be 6. You don't have so much to explain for 5 marks, so it might be 4 and 6. And when it comes for the next, what is miniaturization? Explain its significance. Miniaturization is nothing but you're speaking about the MEMS device. If you want to make a device using your MEMS concept, you have to miniaturize size into the micro level. So to change into micro level, we have studied like n number of steps, like reduction with respect to geometry and other main parameters. So those all will come under its significance. So first you have to define what do you mean by miniaturization. Okay, what is its importance, right? And then you will define, you will explain all the 6 to 7 parameters which are there in miniaturization. So that will be nothing but the significance of the miniaturization. So we discussed about the application of MEMS, application of polymers in MEMS. So this question was in our module 5. No, optical MEMS was in module 5. Okay, so here the advantages and applications of polymers in MEMS. So you should explain what are the advantages of using polymers in making MEMS device and what are the applications of using polymers in MEMS device. So you have 2 questions what you have to list out. So for first you have 5 marks and for application you have 5 marks. So when it comes to the advantage, list out all the possible advantages of having polymers in MEMS. So when you speak about polymers, these are soft materials, this will be flexible, right? So it won't be brittle like case of ceramics. So you will be having good durability aspect as well, and it is not brittle. So it finds like good amount of advantages for MEMS as a device. So you have to list out what are all the advantages. We have dealt all these in our class also. Then list out all the applications which are coming into picture related to the polymers in MEMS. So these 2 are for 5 each. So totally for 10 marks. And one more area of MEMS application is vast, that is related to the optical MEMS. So you discuss the features of optical applications for a MEMS device. So you have to tell like what is the optical means of MEMS application. So you have to discuss which are the things which are available. Okay, how this optical MEMS application is comparatively having a significant growth in MEMS device. So we have studied one case study also related to optical MEMS. Right, so you please go through all those and just brief out the information on optical MEMS application. I think it will be for 5 marks. And remaining, you have the advantages and limitations of the optical MEMS. So that you have to list out. List out the advantages of optical MEMS and list out the limitations of optical MEMS. So this is again for 10 marks. And last part is related to our devices. So where did my question paper go? Let me open it again. I think I closed by mistake. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So it is the last module which were related to our devices. So in devices, we spoke about the sensor devices separately, the actuator devices separately, and smart structure devices separately, right? So here they ask you to write a note on various topics, like application of smart materials. So if it is for 20, it is like 5 marks for each. So you have to provide a suitable list of applications of smart materials. Again, they have asked you the applications of shape memory alloys. These 2 are not from module 5. Okay, so I've just clubbed here, and mainly the sensors and actuator devices in MEMS. So this is from the devices section, but again scaling in electrostatic forces. This goes for miniaturization concept. So it is like combination of all the modules they have given in the form of module 8. But when it comes to your scheme, you'll be having like two full questions from smart devices. So in that case, you might get the questions like, if I go back to the devices, right? You have like sensor and actuator devices. They can ask you to write a note on sensor and actuator devices and the importance of conductivity in semiconductors. So we have studied what do you mean by semiconductor, can be enhanced. We have dealt with p-type semiconductor, n-type semiconductor, all those, no? So that you will be speaking of. And then module 5, we also have the crystal planes, the orientation of the crystallographic plane, how does the properties vary, right? So that also we have focused, and we have and they can ask you to explain the stress and strain relations, what we have studied in the devices. Like you'll be having the elastic limit, and then the plasticity range comes into picture, so you can identify the yield stress, all those things you it comes in devices. And also the polymers in MEMS, what we spoke about the application, so that is from the device module only. And optical MEMS, what we discussed, that was also from device module. So that was being discussed already in the question paper in the previous questions. So like this optical MEMS, polymers in MEMS. So this was from device module. Okay, so here they have clubbed in this, but you will be having a specific question like 9 and 10 from module 5 with respect to your scheme. So don't worry, it will be with respect to modules. Here they have slightly clubbed up, but the content remains the same. So this is one like how your question paper might look like. But the pattern will be 1 and 2 from module 1, 3 and 4 from module 2, 5 and 6 from module 3, 7 and 8 from module 4, 9 and 10 question from module 5. So out of those, you have to answer one full question from each module. And even though it is for 100 marks, it will be reduced to 60 later. So this will be about the scheme of, the pattern, how your question paper could come in your final VTU examination. So after this, hope the things are clear. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I'll just share the syllabus and let me know the portions for the test for you. Is my PPT visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so you know very well your scheme is for like 40-60, in which 40 is for your CIE marks, wherein you're writing 30 for your internals and 10 marks is based on the subject seminar, also the assignments what you have answered. So total duration of examination will be for 3 hours, right? So as per that, now we have completed module 1, module 2, module 3 also for our test. No. So for second module, I think we had ended up with ER and MR fluids. So now what you will be having the portion for your test is, it will be from vibration absorbers, you will be having MEMS, and you will be having devices. So totally you will be having 3 modules for your third internals. So in that, how I have planned is, just a second, let me. Yeah, you'll be having vibration absorbers, and you'll be having MEMS, and you will be having the last one, devices. So related to the module 3, you will be getting the questions. Okay, so you have to focus about like many people have done the seminars also related to fiber optics, right? And also the control of structures. In control of structures, there are many parameters like control strategies, its limitation, and active structures in practice. So we have studied two active structures in practice. Anyone, if it is given in the question. So if it is given related to active vibration absorbers, you should be able to explain what is active vibration absorbers, what are its significance and technical parameters you should be able to explain. And if we ask a question on fiber optics, you should be knowing the principle of fiber optics and what are its applications, how fiber optics could be used to detect crack. So that also you should be knowing. So these are the possible questions which can come. And then related to control of structures also you can get a question. So this is the second part of your vibration absorbers. So wherein in control of structures mainly you have 4 points. Modeling, you should speak about modeling, you should speak about control strategies, and you should speak about what are its limitations. So these are 3 parameters. Apart from that, we have a small section. If you get a question on speak on active structures which are used in practice, so then it could be due to PZT sensors, yeah, actuators, or any shape memory alloy things which are being used as active structures, means active smart structures in real-time application. So we have purely studied 2 practices. So out of these 2, anyone could be asked, or you might have given mentioned 2 practices, and in that one you have to explain. So these are the possible ways you get the question from vibration absorbers. And then module 4, it mainly speaks about what is MEMS, right? What are its applications? And finally, you can get like the importance or the significance of miniaturization, right? So how the miniaturization is done, it is with respect to scaling of many mechanical systems. So you can list out and explain its significance. So these are the possible questions what you can get in. And also when it comes to the devices, here also you have the applications of you have the part of polymers. If you use, how well it will be suitable for MEMS. So this is also a part of MEMS, but it is in devices. So you can get a question associated with module 4 only related to polymers in MEMS and also the optical MEMS application. So this part you will be getting in the direct descriptive type of questions. So when it comes for the case study and an innovative question, so that will be purely based on our devices. Okay, so I have focused the regular questions from vibration absorbers and MEMS. When I tell about MEMS, even polymers in MEMS and optical MEMS also are included. So apart from that, the remaining devices which are there in your syllabus will be put forward in case of your case study and innovative question. So now just I want to tell you how an innovative question will be. Okay, so always I just ask like if you are a good professional, smart structure engineer, you're smart device and structural professional. So what will be your insight or innovative in developing smart structures, smart sensors, like that many questions are given. So now similarly, this time you will be getting like if you are a professional smart device and structural person, so what will be your insight or innovative thoughts in developing some of the smart devices? Which are the smart devices here in case of your module 5? These are nothing but sensors, actuators, right? So these things you have to keep in mind and provide your ideas and thoughts how you can make or how you can develop at least one smart structure by using sensor and actuator devices. So this you will be like an innovative question. And related to the case study, I have discussed in the class already the case study related to smart materials and structures, the state of the art. So for your reference, I can just share you again and explain. Means I'll just tell out. Let me share that case study. Hope the case study is visible to you all.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this case study we have discussed in the class already. So it is like combination of smart materials and structures, where it speaks about all the aspects right from smart materials and what are the available smart material actuators and sensors on which the people have worked already, and which are the type of actuators and sensor devices which are available, which materials they have used to develop the sensors and actuators, and which are the external stimuli for which these sensors and actuators respond. So when they respond, what is the response they give? So all the type of sensor and actuator material classes are being given. So based on that, you have to figure out the sensor and actuator devices in your own words. Okay, so after that, you might been asked to explain the significance of this framework of smart structure categories. So in the smart structure categories, you will be using these sensors which are listed out here and the actuators, so which will help to get the required smart structures actively in the presence of a controlled media. So this also I have explained you in the class before. So with respect to this case study, you should be able to know the importance of the smart sensors and the devices with class of material, how they respond to the stimuli, and how these actuators and sensors could be used to get the required smart structure. So go through the case study and keep the things in your mind so that when you get a question, you should be able to correlate these actuators and sensors to the smart structure. So you may need to draw this diagram also and explain, and you may need to know the content of this, draw the diagram for actuator sensor if needed, and correlate. So this will be your case study question. Hope the things are clear for your syllabus, for your third internals.
Yes, ma'am.
So you will be having module 3, you will be having module 4, and you will be having module 5. So you will get direct questions from module 3 related to vibration absorbers, optical fiber, detection of crack using optical fiber, and control of structures, and any one actual practice of smart structure. So these are possible questions from module 3. So when it comes for module 4, it is like MEMS, its application, the significance of miniaturization, and optical MEMS and polymers in MEMS is in device module, but still the question can come together with MEMS. So this is for our module 4. So module 5 mainly speaks about your case study and innovative question. So I've discussed a case study now for smart materials and structures, wherein you need to correlate the actuator devices, the sensor devices to an controlling unit to get the required framework of the smart structures. So this is a part of your case study. Finally, if you are a professional smart material and structural person, what will be your ideas, thoughts, your insight to develop at least one smart structure by using these devices, what you have studied in module 5? So that will be your possible innovative question. Hope the things are clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So kindly prepare accordingly for your internals. When you have your internals?
Don't know, ma'am.
Don't know.
No,
It is scheduled already. Just I don't know whether it's been shared to you all or not.
not sure, ma'am.
If I go for my departmental WhatsApp, just a second. It's been announced, but it's not been shared, I think, for the students yet. MTech, no?
Yes, ma'am.
See, MTech, it starts from, for MCA and MTech, it is together. It is like on 4th, 5th, and 6th. Okay. So, on 4th morning, you have DFMA. On 4th, from 9:30 to 11. On 4th afternoon, you have MSD. And on 5th, you have my paper, which is from 9:30 to 11. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I think your MTech coordinator will share you shortly, but for your information, these are the dates in which you will be having your third internals. It is on 4th and 5th. So
Yes.
4th, you have two papers, DFMA and MSD, and 5th, you have my paper from 9:30 to 11. So I have given you the details of the portion for your syllabus. The case study has been cleared in the previous classes. I will share that case study also for your reference. I think the PPTs are shared already in your classroom. If any other content which has been missed out from my end, I'll be sharing it shortly. And related to your report, what I told you, subject seminar report, kindly complete and submit at the earliest. I'll just create an post for that also, so wherein you can post it accordingly. Okay. Now today is 30th. Answer your attendance. Danush,
Yes, ma'am.
Mithun, Mithun is absent. Mohan Ambal, she is absent. Sandesh, Sandesh, Srinidhi,
Yes, ma'am.
Sandesh was there, I don't know where he went. Sukrut,
Yes, ma'am.
and Harsha.
Yes, ma'am.
Harsha is there? Okay. Sandesh, you are back?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So everyone take care, be safe. Yesterday I had some other work and in that I just forgot to take my class and you people did not even remind me that I had a class. So I later only realized by 12 o'clock that I was busy with SimLab for the students had come here physically for the lab experimentation. So I was there from morning to afternoon. Just the class went out of my mind. I could not realize. But you people did not remind me, so that made me surprised. Fine, no problem. So take care and have a nice day. Submit the report at the earliest. If any pending assignment from your end, kindly post it immediately. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have a good day. Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. Bye. 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 Bye.